Okay, we'll go far right, 50, belly on blue, ready?
NFL 81 began with high-blown hopes in September and ended 4 months later in a whirlwind finish. There were more teams grabbing for a piece of the playoffs than ever before. For some, the high times began in the very first week. Teams like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bradshaw takes, fumbles the snap, it's loose, picked up on the play by the Chiefs. Rolling out in front of the field is Thomas Howard, and he will go all the way.
Led by their aggressive young defense and rookie sensation Joe Delaney, number 37, the Chiefs made the most of every opportunity and ran away with their first winning season in 9 years. The Philadelphia Eagles began the season like a rising rocket, winning their first 6 games. But the second stage never ignited, and they plummeted to earth, losing 6 of their last 8. Few bubbles burst quite so dramatically as the defending world champion Oakland Raiders. In 1980, number 16 Jim Plunkett had come off the bench to lead Oakland to a Super Bowl title. But in 1981, Oakland finished under 500 for the first time in 17 years. In the middle of the season, the Raiders collapsed completely and were shut out in 3 consecutive games. 1981 was a year in which hard times often brought out the best in people. The Miami Dolphins lost their starting linebacker in a car accident, and their first-round draft choice defected to Canada. But they responded to the leadership of their coach Don Shula and rewarded him with a surprising AFC Eastern Division title. The New York Jets came from nowhere to finish second to the Dolphins, due in large part to the league's best pass rush, the sack exchange. En route to their first winning season in over a decade, these Jets showed character in the clutch.
Come on, New York! Don't give up, New York! Get tough, New York! Give it to us, New York!
21 seconds remaining. These fans are on their feet as Todd is back to pass. He's looking into the end zone.
New York won a wild card playoff berth, and so too did the Buffalo Bills. Propelled by the most explosive offense in franchise history, Buffalo won games in ways that no one thought possible.
Now Ferguson wants the crowd to quiet down. 12 seconds left. Dropping back in the pocket, looking. There's the Hail Mary, headed for the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown! Caught for a touchdown! I don't believe it! Caught for a touchdown!
I don't believe it is.
Incredible! A remarkable play. Never in my life have I seen an ending like this one. What a finish!
Just as there were unexpected winners, there were unexpected losers as well.
Incredible!
Each week, the talented New England Patriots fell on hard times. And when they met the Baltimore Colts on the season's last Sunday, history was made. Never before had 2 teams sharing so many losses played each other. It was a day when the NFL, which spends millions deciding its best, spent an uncomfortable afternoon forced to decide its worst. The Patriots lost, and thus earned a special place within a special season. NFL 81. NFL 81 saw parity popping up throughout the league, and it was a season that showed how one individual with special talents could turn a perennial loser into a sudden winner.
I went to the movies and saw Superman 1, and I went to the movies and saw Superman 2. But then I said to myself, I said, now I'm playing with Superman 3, and that's Lawrence Taylor.
The feats of Taylor and his teammates left Giants fans in awe as they won a playoff berth for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Some of the NFL's youngest players were its brightest stars in 1981. Number 38, George Rogers of New Orleans, led the NFL in rushing and reaped a harvest of Rookie of the Year honors. In only his 3rd season, unheralded free agent Steve Watson, number 81, caught a league-leading 13 touchdown passes and scored on the season's longest reception, 95 yards. When second-year quarterback Eric Hipple assumed command of the Detroit Lions in the season's 7th week, the Lions soared into contention in the NFC Central. Hipple played with poise seldom seen in one so young, and he made all things seem possible, even a win over the Dallas Cowboys. Left with only 11 seconds, but with 12 men, the Lions upset the Cowboys on the game's very last play.
Coming in is Ed Murray. He's in there now. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. It'll be from the 37. Here's the kick, and he boots it, and it is good! And the clock runs out. Will you believe the finish of this one?
Hipple's grin, grit, and enthusiasm rejuvenated Detroit. But in the end, the Lions could not overcome a spirited mutiny in the Central Division, led by number 12 Doug Williams and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the last week of NFL 81, the Buccaneers beat the Lions 20-17 to win their 2nd Central Division championship in 3 seasons. In a year when almost every team had its highs and lows, the Dallas Cowboys remained a fixed star. Once again, the Cowboys used their muscle and mystique to make the playoffs for the 15th time in the last 16 years. And their 16th consecutive winning season included another Eastern Division championship. While the Cowboys were the model of consistency, Don Coryell's San Diego Chargers were a frustrating puzzle. Their offense had the right combination, gaining more yards than any team in the history of the NFL. However, the pieces never seemed to fit on defense. Opposing teams scored easily and often against the San Diego pass defense that gave up more yards than any team in league history. Led by quarterback Dan Fouts, the Chargers were the highest scoring team in the league. But whatever their magnificent offense earned, their dreadful defense gave away. Between these extremes, however, the Chargers won the AFC West and earned the right to meet the Dolphins in the playoffs. On a hot, humid night in Miami, the Chargers' entire season was summed up in a single game. The Chargers exploded to a 24-0 lead. But the ghosts of past failures came suddenly alive as San Diego's defense allowed Miami to come back, score 38 points, and take a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. Despite a bruised shoulder, a pinched nerve, and a case of heat exhaustion, All-Pro tight end Kellen Winslow caught 13 passes for 166 yards and 1 touchdown. Always recognized for his great skill, now it was number 80's courage that carried his team through their greatest challenge. On the final play of the fourth quarter, Winslow blocked a field goal to send the game into overtime. After 74 minutes and 76 points, Rolf Benirschke's field goal ended what may have been the most exciting game in the history of pro football. In 1981, the San Diego Chargers were not a team of destiny. But as this victory proved, they certainly were one of daring and drama. NFL '81 was a Cinderella season for the San Francisco 49ers. Together, they rose to power in the NFC West behind the leadership of ex-Notre Dame quarterback Joe Montana, who had been groomed for greatness by head coach Bill Walsh.
If we call ADX hook again, and they got bumping one on Dwight, we'll just have Dwight run a full-speed slant.
Walsh's wizardry tamed the raw natural skills of Montana, a man with the quickest feet since Fred Astaire. Always on the move, Montana's favorite target was Dwight Clark, number 87, who caught over 80 passes for the second year in a row. The team everyone expected to falter never did, as Bill Walsh gave the young 49ers stability and composure, even when complaining to the officials.
You guys made an error there. That was a lateral from upstairs. We didn't see it either, but it was a lateral, that last pass.
Walsh's team could play defense as well. Led by veteran middle linebacker Hacksaw Reynolds, the 49er defense manhandled opponents and helped San Francisco run away with the NFL's most victories and a division crown. The 49ers raced from obscurity into the NFC Championship, where they faced the mighty Dallas Cowboys. In this wicked hitting war with America's team, the lead changed hands all afternoon. The Cowboys gliding ahead, only to be outmaneuvered by Montana's quick feet. With 4.5 minutes remaining and Dallas clinging to a 6-point lead, the Cowboys went to a prevent defense with 6 defensive backs. San Francisco crossed up the Cowboys by staying on the ground. driving from the 49er 10 to the Dallas doorstep.
58 seconds remaining at the 6-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Everything hangs in the balance now. The season, the outcome of a Super Bowl berth hangs in the balance. He has the ball. Montana rolling out the right, looking toward the end zone, throwing under pressure, throws his pass, caught by Clark. Clark got a touchdown. Dwight Clark has it.
For the first time in franchise history, the 49ers were NFC champions, earning a berth in Super Bowl 16. After snoozing through 3 straight last-place finishes, in 1981, Cincinnati Bengal owner Paul Brown woke up the team with outrageous new uniforms. The players didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
I tell you the truth, when you're wearing a helmet like that, it's one of those situations you either got to put up or shut up. You either got to play or they're going to laugh you out of the league.
Cincinnati looked like a traveling sideshow. And sure enough, in the first game of the 1981 season, these Tigers with new stripes turned out to be the same old Cincinnati Bungles. The Seattle Seahawks raced to a 21-point first-half lead. But a flicker of life remained for the team with the Halloween helmets as third-string quarterback Turk Schonert came off the bench to lead an unbelievable comeback win over Seattle. This victory lifted the curse off the Bengals, who were led by unsmiling Forrest Gregg, a Hall of Famer as a player, and a stern disciplinarian in the model of his former coach, Vince Lombardi.
Boy, I tell you what, Pat kicks like somebody with a busted knuckle. Great kick, Pat. Great kick. I hope you do that in the Pro Bowl.
Forrest Gregg was tough.
Well, kick the damn thing, for sake.
And as the season progressed, he watched his young team take shape. What he saw melted the Iron Mask, and for the first time he could see greatness for a team which had won just 6 games in 1980.
I never felt until just recently that these people were tough enough. But, mister, they have convinced me now. They get after people, and that's what I like.
The Bengals were wide awake and back on the prowl. A team as vibrant as its new stripes. After years of playing with great skill, quarterback Kenny Anderson now played with heart. And his courage earned him the NFL Player of the Year award for leading his team into the playoffs. Against San Diego in the AFC Championship, a wind chill factor of 59 degrees below zero turned the contest into a test of wills. San Diego's famed Air Coryell failed to navigate the turbulent Arctic headwinds. However, the Bengals and courageous Ken Anderson defied the elements with flawless execution. In the end, this glorious icy afternoon belonged to the men in the funny helmets, men who now wore their stripes as a symbol of pride. Cincinnati beat San Diego, and Forrest Gregg was off to the Super Bowl, the first man ever to appear there as a player and as a coach. Super Bowl 16 featured 2 teams that were new to the event. And when the San Francisco 49ers met the Cincinnati Bengals, each pulled out all of the stops in pursuit of their first world title. The game was decided by takeaways. The Bengals committed 4 costly turnovers, and the 49ers turned them into the largest halftime lead in Super Bowl history, 20-0. 'But in the second half, the Bengals caught fire. Their comeback hopes blazed to life as Kenny Anderson led them to a 21-point second half. But the one touchdown that would have won the game for the Bengals was smothered beneath the greatest goal line stand in Super Bowl history. Four times the 49ers arose to turn back the Bengals. It was a feat that earned them the World Championship of Professional Football and a fitting conclusion to a great season. NFL '81.